We are back with another episode of the Daily Vedantic. Today's episode is around the intellect. So within Vedanta, perhaps the central contribution of the philosophy, and one that we've talked about before in previous episodes, but it is so worth repeating. Probably took me 5 years before the penny dropped on this concept. And it's still dropping year after year. And that is that we have 3 equipments to navigate through the world. We have a body, which we all know. We have a mind, which that's not groundbreaking. But there's another internal equipment within us called the intellect. And again, this perhaps is the central contribution of Vedanta in terms of practical living. And that is you have 2 internal equipments. A mind, which is the flowy stuff, the feelings, the likes, dislikes, preferences, and then you have the intellect, a subtler equipment, a higher equipment that guides the mind. Now, we use phrases like mindset or frame of mind in our modern colloquial language all the time, but we rarely ever explicitly say, what is that thing that you would use to set your mind or to get in the right frame of mind? What is that thing that allows you to discern what would be good for you to do in this situation? What might be better for you to do? We do hard things all of the time against our local or near-term preferences because there is a higher ideal we're serving. Maybe it's going to the gym. Maybe it's going for a run. Maybe it's having a hard conversation because you know on the other side of that discomfort is what you really want, clarity with that individual. Stronger, more capable body. That is the intellect stepping in and discerning, hey, mind, I know you might not want to do this right now, but we're going to do it anyhow, and it's going to benefit you as well. Just like when you jump in and say this is going to benefit the body, even if it might feel like it's hurting the body in the short term, even if it might feel like it's hurting your desire to just sit on the couch, but going for that run ends up benefiting both your mind and your body, and it strengthens the intellect. That is what Vedanta is all about. Vedanta means the end of the Vedas, which we've covered before, the 4 textbooks that sit at the seat of nearly all Eastern philosophy. Stemming back to, in 2016, they found a partial version of a written copy of the Rig Veda that might date it back to 6000 BC. So these are, in terms of continuous study, the oldest philosophical texts in the world. And they were talking about developing the intellect. The intellect is in developing this capacity to discern right from wrong in any given situation, or what will give you energy, or what's going to dissipate your energy in the long term. Intellect, my favorite definition of the word intellect within Vedanta, is the capacity to see the end in the beginning. Can you see the end in the beginning? To recognize, hey, maybe I don't want to go into business with that person. Maybe this job isn't for me. Maybe this friend is not so much a friend. And it's maybe even recognizing right at the forefront of something that, nope, this isn't something that I want to do, because you have that capacity to see where it's going to lead. That capacity is the intellect. And as we've touched on before, philosophy can be couched in this academic, irrelevant realm that seems so contrary to practical living, day-to-day life. And yet the development of your intellect, whether it's part of the decision you're going to make in 30 minutes this afternoon or next week, in any realm of your life, whether you know it or not, it's going to be a part of that conversation. It's going to be a part of that decision. And developing it, cultivating an intellect, a strong intellect, is going to help you see further in the future to where you really can see, in most scenarios in life, the end even in the beginning. This philosophy is anything but irrelevant to the day-to-day. It is not some academic, scholastic endeavor. This philosophy is day-to-day living. It is the discernment for something that's going to come up right on the other side of this video, right in your life today. And when you notice there's an inner dialogue within you, maybe listen to the subtler voice that might not have the strength, the army of desire of even just what your body wants to do. And maybe give a little extra volume to that subtler voice. And it might feel like a minority in all of the votes that are being cast within you for what to do. But see what happens when you listen to it, when you give it a little more volume, and then a little more volume. And over time, like any muscle, it grows stronger and stronger and becomes the primary voice in your head when given any decision from life, business, to relationships. It's the helpful guide that actually gets you to where you want to go instead of in the pitfall that you didn't see coming. That is the intellect. Socrates said that it is most unfortunate to die never knowing the capacity of the human body. I'd say it's even more unfortunate to die never knowing the capacity of your intellect and what you're capable of in all of life's pursuits. This philosophy is about developing that capacity. This has been the Daily Vedantic.